Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here coming at you with another video. This is just a discussion video. I just wanted to go over a couple things with you. This is kind of the part before the part of the installation. Okay, so just going to do a couple of things I want to talk to you guys about. Do's and don'ts and a couple of things. So first things first, I've been seeing a lot of bikes coming through with the wrong chain on them. They've been coming through with 40 chain or 41 chain, and the correct chain for your bike is a 240. And what that means is the links. You can buy a chain online. Make sure you're getting a 240 chain and a 240 master link. They have a higher strength. It's kind of like if you're associated with bolts, a regular 40 or 41 would be like a grade 5. A 240 would be like a grade 8. Okay, it's just a stronger chain, and it's designed for motorcycles and dirt bikes, whereas a 40-41 chain is not. And they have a tendency to wear out and kill sprockets. So a couple of things: when you take a brand new chain, go like this, you can move it a little bit. It's a brand new chain. When your chain is worn out, you can really bend it. It'll really bow. And then you can also take it and push it in. I don't know if you can see something. Let me see if I can get over to you. Can you see how it moves in and out? That's not supposed to happen. That chain's been driven really, really hard without lube. So it's very important you keep them clean and keep them lubricated. A lubricated chain will last you a very long time, whereas a non-lubricated chain is going to stretch. What happens when they stretch? Let's see if I can put this on here. The hole where the master link slides into, the pins wear. The pin wears and the hole wears. And then you'll be able to push it in and out. You shouldn't be able to do that. Okay? It's going to have a very slight play. Not to the point where you can take the whole link and squish them all in and pull them back out. So that's significant wear. Also, too, what that does is it ruins your sprocket. So I got a couple of sprockets over here. I'm going to put them up against a piece of paper so you guys can see what I'm talking about. If you look at the teeth on these, see how it is bent? And they're kind of bent in this direction. Okay. Let's them run it loose with a stretched out chain. Everything is just worn out. You can see the grooves where the chain's been actually resting really far down. You should have a thicker tooth, like say this one. See how thick those are? You can really see the difference. So check your sprockets. Don't put a chain on a worn sprocket. You're just going to make it worse. Always get a sprocket set, back and front, and a new chain in master link. When you buy a chain, it comes with a master link. It's very important. And then when you buy a chain, make sure you buy a 240 chain. That's what these bikes, the KEs, the Trail Bosses, the KMs, the KDs, they all take a 240 chain, not a 40 or a 41. Whenever you get a master link, if you break a master link, you need to replace it with a master link that is for a 240 chain. A 40 or a 41 will fit, but it is not, that's going to be the weakest link in the chain. You don't want to put a master link that's a 40 or a 41. It may fit, will fit, it's not right. Okay, so now we got that part done. I want to talk to you guys about this clip. Okay? So, I'm going to do a drawing real quick to show you what I'm talking about. Real simple. I just want to get this information out there to you guys, so you guys know what you're looking at. Okay. All right, so this right here, it represents the rear sprocket. This right here represents the front sprocket. And your chain direction goes this way. On your master link, okay, so it's shaped. The solid part is the arrow part. It has to go in that direction. Okay, so on the top of the chain always faces the engine. Don't put them in backwards because they can catch on something and pop off. Alright, so that takes care of that part. Alright, so we got chains, we got sprockets done, and I wanted to talk to you guys about piston rings, and I want to talk to you about wrist pins. Okay, so that was my next part. This is going to be a short video, not very long. Engine braking. Okay, we're going to talk about engine braking. Engine braking on these little motors is very hard on them. It's okay if you have a heavy duty engine, like a motocross bike. They do a lot of engine braking. What is engine braking? Engine braking is having the bike in a lower gear going down a hill and you're not using the brakes. You're just letting the engine slow you down. These bike motors, these KEs, these trail bosses, the, what do you call it there? Basically these smaller rotary valve engines, okay, aren't built like the professional motocross bikes. So what takes the beating? The rings take the beating. They're not designed, they're not high performance rings. They're just basic steel rings. They're nothing fancy. Nothing fancy about them at all. So basically, you can develop cracks in them. It rounds off the edges. Basically what you're doing is you're forcing compression when you're going down. You're using the compression to hold you back. As opposed to that compression used for combustion, now it's being used to slow you down. That excess pressure wears on your, what do you call it there, wrist pin bearing. And this is how grooves become. If you can see the grooves, there's two shiny spots on both sides. That's from that's excess wear. Okay, not from bad oil, but that is from engine braking. And there's actually a groove on both sides. Alright, I mean, obviously you can't see it. But I can feel it when I run my fingernail over it. I can feel it. This diameter is thinner than that. And it's supposed to be the same thickness all the way through. So engine braking on these bikes is bad. It's not good for it, and it does wear on them pretty hard. Even if you put a Wiseco piston in your bike, the Wiseco piston is a performance name, but for the KE100s, it's actually designed to factory OEM. It's not a, it's a high performance name, but it's built to factory specs for these bikes. So keep that in mind when you're engine braking. Oh, I put a Wiseco piston in. Those are top of the line pistons. Yes, they are. And they also have very good quality rings. However, it's just the design of this motor. For some reason, it really wears on the wrist pin bearings and the wrist pins. So keep that in mind when you're going down a hill. It's actually better off to use the brakes. So keep that type of stuff in mind when you're doing that engine braking. It is very, very difficult on these motors. And that's pretty much what I got for right now. I just wanted to go over a couple things with the chain. I'm going to be doing a chain installation on a bike. It's going to have the new chain, the new rear sprocket, and the new front sprocket. Because you always should replace them all together. Start off fresh. And then make sure, I'm going to teach you guys what deflection is. and all that. But I want to have it on the bike so I can show you guys how to adjust that. But I just wanted to go over with you, if you have a sprocket you're not sure about, what to look for on your sprockets, what to look for on your chain, and definitely keep them lubricated. If you're going to store them, I prefer a Ziploc bag. You know, what I do is I Ziploc them. I spray them down with chain lube like I did this one. This is a brand new chain. I had it on my bike, but then I changed over to a bigger, whatchamacallit, a bigger sprocket. So I had to get a longer chain. You don't want to have multiple links in a chain. It's not good to have. So it just makes more weak spots. I'd rather have just one weak spot than multiple. So, well, that's pretty much what I got for you guys for right now. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, please send them my way. Thanks for watching.